different because most of the time I'm actually, like I teach, I really only train my students. I find there's, it's really good too because when you teach, you have to make sure what you're teaching is right. So I actually learn a lot teaching, and I think that helps my jiu-jitsu a lot because I never, even when I lived in Brazil, I never had really big guys, training partners to train with, so I always train smaller guys. That made me more technical. And I guess training my students, teaching kids all the way to older people, I can train them anybody any size. And he helped me lots. It's different, it's completely different from Brazil because the amount of partners we have here and the caliber of competition. When I moved to Canada in '99, I used to compete all the time. All major tournaments, never had a problem. I went to Canada, I stayed away from Brazil for about 3 to 4 years. I didn't compete at that time because I was working my visas and stuff, so I couldn't come back to Brazil. It was bad in a way, but I don't regret moving to Canada and choosing that instead of just competition. I started competing again in Jiu-Jitsu Masters in 2007. It's super hard. Like a lot of people think it's easy, but when you compete with guys that have 10, 12 years of experience in black belt division and competition, it's really good. Like I compete also in some tournaments that are adult divisions, and I always find the Masters is really hard, especially in the major tournaments, it's really hard to compete because all the black belts are really good. So there's always tough fights. Last year, I had 7 matches here in Rio. Every single one of them was against Brazilian champs, the guys that won the Worlds. So it gets difficult every year. It's a pretty big tournament. Lots of people, lots of matches. Even in Brazil, like I never liked summer, man. To tell you the truth, I always liked the winter. So I didn't care about the winter, even though Winnipeg is ridiculously cold. I don't mind at all. I just find it's hard because you have to, like if you stop for 5 minutes, it's cold already, and it's pretty dry. So the first year is pretty hard, but nowadays I actually rather train in the winter than train in the summer. Summer you just get dehydrated so much, and if I get some sun nowadays, I lost my, I just get sunstroke. Like when I come to Brazil sometimes and stay on the beach, when I come to train at night, I feel horrible. So I like training in cold weather. I don't mind. You know what, like training, there's different types of people. Some people come to the gym because they want to have a workout, some people want to compete. So we have to kind of make sure, if I want to compete, okay, you have to work in your conditioning. So even prior to come to the gym, you have to work in everything like lifting weights, doing some cardio outside of the gym. And then in the gym, I always was the guy that always tried to learn as much technique as I could. And then when it's time for a tournament or when I'm training with guys who are really good, I stick to what I do best. So I do my rice and beans, basic stuff, but that works for me. So in working everything else like judo, wrestling, you know, and I make sure you know that because if the match starts standing, so a lot of guys just have like to just pull guard, or I do everything. I always train everything. All my teachers made me do judo since I was very young, and I think that you benefit a lot from that. You learn different stuff, and then I train wrestling. Lots of do all kinds of stuff, and that helps a lot. But in class, I'd say working technique, drilling those techniques as much as you can, and learning a lot of different stuff, and really just kind of catching whatever works for you. But I always find that I like learning all kinds of different techniques, and whatever works for my game, fits my game, I take it. Whatever, you know what I mean? I'm not gonna try anything crazy in the tournament. I fight always pretty much the same. I come here quite often, at least 3-4 times a year. I come to compete once, like in July I bring all my students who do a training camp here, summer camp. I bring them to train where the sport was born, and I find that everybody that does jiu-jitsu should always try to come to Brazil and train with these guys.
Here in Muay Thai.
Race my time. Like this is where, like you guys can go and see these walls. We've seen these in many videos and stuff like that. So it's always a place, even if you train anywhere else, you should come and visit. Because Hilda Gracie, Royce, Hickson, everybody trained here. And so I try to come as often as I can. But teaching and gyms in Canada, it's pretty hard. Whenever I can, even if I'm here a couple of days for business, I make sure I bring my kimono and I always train.